Hey there folks, this is GreenXI, welcoming you right back to Let's Play Higurashi. This is episode 208. In the last episode we finished off the Outbreak arc, and it abruptly ended, so that's why I don't really know at all what we're going into next for this third and final arc. Is it going to be a continuation where they carry on, or it looks like a different fragment entirely for the Kamikashimashi chapter. The tragedy spreads to Akanamaya, with no end in sight. Who's behind all this? And for what purpose? Can it be stopped? The tale of Higurashi Outbreak concludes here. Okay, it's going to be a continuation. The difficulty is inhuman. Please watch over the club members' final battle. Alright, I find it strange that it's actually a separate fragment, considering it's the same basic thing. But I'm glad of it, because it could have been one of those spin-offy things where they went to the pool and it was all the pervy stuff, or, you know, I'm glad it's something like this instead. Right then, I'm going to try and stick to like half-hour bursts, but again it depends on if the chapters split like they did in the last one, in the Outbreak one. Let's go! I don't have a clue what the title means, by the way. I don't know. This is a work of fiction, yeah, all that sort of stuff. In the distant town of Akanamaya, we saw smoke rising from fires here and there. We had a very clear view of it as it hung ominously over the whole town. Occasionally the wind carried the sound of screams, raging and unidentifiable, these portentous noises echoing in the quiet town. It sounds like something's dying. Cry. Yeah. This isn't just in Hinamizawa, huh? Does this mean the virus has finally spread to Akanamaya? Rika had stayed behind in Hinamizawa of her own volition. We tried to stop her since it was dangerous, but seeing this sight, maybe it really was better to stay in Hinamizawa where we knew our way around. Mion was still injured, but for the time being she seemed stable. Still, she'd only been given first aid. She still needed to see a doctor. Bleeding out. The rioters had broken into the Irie clinic, so it was abandoned, and Irie was nowhere to be found. Anyway, we need to find you a doctor. I'm doing fine. Sure it hurts, but it settled down a lot. No. If you don't get a proper treatment, then it could fester later. We just have to search for a doctor. It's hard to imagine any doctors are open for business with things like this. Let's head for the office of the Sonzaki group. My mother and the others there should be able to do something. You think Shi-chan's there too? Given what's happened, that's the safest place to be. I just hope those people are still reasonable. Anyway, let's check out the town. We can't stay up here forever. Right. Is this disaster only happening here? Or has it expanded out to the rest of Japan? We don't know anything here in Himizawa. The idea that this could be happening all over the world, I don't want to think about it. Let's go. I'm alright, I can walk by myself. Normally we go to Akanamaya by bicycle, but it was easy to imagine that rioters would be acting like the neighbourhood watch here in Akanamaya, just like they were in Hinamizawa. Not to mention we didn't bring our bikes. The whole virus commotion originated in Hinamizawa, so the people in Akanamaya should, naturally, view everyone coming from Hinamizawa as an enemy. We decided it was too dangerous to move on roads, likely with a watch on them, so we headed there on foot using back paths instead. The kind of routes used by gatherers, the elderly, and the children that ran around in the fields of Hinamizawa were the safest ones, while Keiichi and the others headed to Akanamaya. Keiichi's parents had evacuated themselves to the Sonzaki's secret underground tunnels. Yeah, didn't Mion go with them? There were already some resources stored down there, so they'd be safe for a while. Still, they needed to reach a place that was even safer, one with plenty of food, medical treatment. Confirming whether or not such a safe space even existed was their biggest objective behind scouting out Akanamaya. No way! A couple of minutes later. Just a little prologue, I suppose, for the arc. Or half arc. Whatever. Whatever you want to call it. I'm really intrigued on how they're going to end all this. Will everyone die? I said before in the last arc, didn't I? Could be zombie related. Ooh, back to Rika. There's mounds of corpses. It's an awful sight. The miserable remains of those beaten to death by the rioters lay here and there on the shoulders of the streets. Even Hanyu shook her head at the swarm of flies and the pervasive stench of death. But it's grown quieter. Yes, it has. This is about the time when nearly all of those who let the demons of paranoia into their hearts die off after trying to kill each other. She already knows. She's been in this fragment before. That roaring wind that was like the ominous groan of a dragon could no longer be heard. All that enveloped Hinamizawa in its place was the silence of death. The screams of those who allowed the demons into their hearts and began killing each other could no longer be heard either. But it doesn't hurt to be cautious. True. I can't die before I see how this crazy world ends. Where are you going? The Irie Clinic's basement. That should be the safest place in Hinamizawa right now, don't you think? The underground research ward was filled with the silence of death as well. So as long as she didn't mind the corpses and the trails of bright red blood splatter staining the pale white walls, it was a perfect place to hide out for a while. Are there still violent ones in the village? Yes. I think it should quiet down soon, but for now. Then it's settled. Let's wait for the heat to die down. We should be able to find someone's drinks and snacks down there. Plus the bathrooms are nice. Don't have to pee in a corner. Rika and Hanyu made their way to the Irie Clinic. After all that time they spent researching the disease, it turned out they were just a den of incompetence, unable to do anything at all. Seems quiet. They passed through animal trails in the mountains and through footpaths between the fields. Sometimes they held their breath and tried to sense the presence of nearby people, while other times they ran like rabbits. Then once they jumped right over the guardrails, they were in a Kanamaya. Every now and then the wind would carry a roar from the distance, along with smoke and the smell of something burning. The town was deathly quiet, but it wasn't dead. Silent Hill? The rioters who allowed paranoia into their hearts were only lying in wait as they teemed with rage. It might be more dangerous here than in Hinamizawa. Agreed. I've got nothing but bad feelings about this. Are they riots here because of fear about the virus as well? This is just my theory, but I think this might be a symptom of the virus, actually. Maybe so. What do you mean? Just like a human version of rabies. I thought everyone was going crazy out of fear of this killer virus, but that's not enough to explain everything. An illness that stokes unfounded fears and suspicions until the victim is driven by nothing else. Does a disease like that really exist? I mean, they never mentioned any of that on TV. TV doesn't always tell the truth. Besides, there's a possibility the killer virus part was just a wrong guess. They're both equally frightening, that's for sure. But why are we fine then? Maybe we're resistant? Well, even if we're not showing any symptoms, we can't rule out the possibility that we're still carrying the disease. Is it really okay for us to go into the city like this? It shouldn't be a problem, not judging by this state of affairs. We advanced carefully, checking to make sure the roads were clear. I imagine I'm looking left, behind vending machines. Abandoned cars formed lines on the city streets. Some cars had crashed into each other and were still smoking at various intersections. Even on the sidewalks, we saw the scattered remains of people murdered under suspicion of being infected. Just hope Shion and Mion's parents are still sane. Oh, they could be dangerous. She's got a samurai sword, hasn't she? Mum and Dad are keeping everyone in line, I'm sure. Shion-san does have a quick temper. There's a huge gap between how Shi-chan acts when she's calm and when she isn't. I'm a little worried about her. She'll be fine. Shion won't talk back to Mom at times like this. I'm sure Mom will be keeping everyone organised. If Oyu had been healthy, even the Hinamizawa Town Council wouldn't have lost its cool. Mion had already gotten a taste of how strong leadership could prevent chaos ahead of time. This virus probably drives people to attack others out of fear and anxiety. So with strong leadership, teamwork and trust, they should be able to maintain their senses. You think the virus commotion fostered fear, and their terror ran rampant? That idea feels right to me. At the very least, even Hinamizawa didn't start acting weird, up until the JSDF left and stopped doing their jobs. That's true. Once the JSDF left, everyone grew frightened all at once, and the world went mad. Satoko raised her voice to note that sudden memory. That reminds me, Rika said something too. She said that people with strong hearts will be fine, since you won't hand them over to the demons. Rika-chan said that? Yes. I just assumed she meant something along the lines of illness starts in the mind, but... maybe there's a chance she meant exactly what she said. There was that moment when the blood rushed to our heads when Rena and I went to rescue Satoko. Maybe that was really risky for the two of us. Maybe so. But we managed to stay calm even as that fire burned strong in our hearts. Let your heart run hot and keep your thoughts cool. Maybe the reason we didn't end up like the others is because we've been training ourselves for these kind of situations in Mion's club. If you lose your cool and hand your heart over to primal emotions, then you go crazy. If you call the result of that process a demon, then it fits with the legends passed down from long ago about Onkafuchi village. You mean that legend about demons coming up out of the swamp? I'm sure something similar to this happened long ago. And I'm positive the people thrown into paranoia and running around out of control were called demons. Makes sense. I think we get a grasp of what's going on. Still, if there were legends left about it, then that means the whole thing was settled and people survived. So this isn't hopeless. We have hope. Right. This commotion isn't going to destroy the world. There's guaranteed to be a way to end it. Is waiting for Yoshiro-sama to descend the only option we have? That's how it ended back then, according to the legends. The people were unable to do anything except wait for Yoshiro-sama's descent. You saying all we can do is wait, even with all this going on? If we're to follow the legends. Yeah, come on already. Oh, Yoshiro-sama, if you're out there watching this, then make with the descent and put a stop to this. Achoo! Can gods catch colds? Oh, humans aren't the only ones that can sneeze, you know. The area clinic had been ransacked by rioters. Believing the rumours that Akira was hidden here, they had swarmed it en masse. But that only applied to the sections on the surface. Their riot hadn't extended to the secret research ward underground. There's nothing here, though. If Irie were around, he would have taken action long ago. We mustn't avert our eyes. There were several corpses gathering flies there in the plundered clinic. Those who believed in the cure ultimately became convinced that someone there was hiding it and began to kill each other. Hanyu covered her eyes after all, but Rika stepped over the corpses without any concern. Some of the corpses were even familiar faces to her, but Rika didn't seem to care. What can you do about it? She passed through the secret door and headed underground. It was far safer to stay behind the secret security door than on the surface. After all the researchers here were either murdered or committed suicide. There was nothing safer than a place completely devoid of others. The security system confirmed it was Rika Furude, and then the door opened. Even though her expression never changed at the sight of the corpses, she heaved a sigh of relief once she confirmed the door was shut behind her. Now we can do as we please. Be that sleep through this or snack on the treat someone stored down here. There's no one else here, after all. I'm surprised you're able to stay so calm amidst that dreadful sight. I don't know if that's you being strong or shameless. I've experienced death, even my own, more times than I can count. So why should some stranger's corpse faze me at this point? The old Rika was cuter. She was as scared as one should be for your age. What should I fear at this point? I suppose you could summon up a ghost. I'd be a little surprised if you did that. Huh? What is it, Rika? Don't start scaring me, okay? The underground ward was supposed to be empty, but she thought she heard something just then. Was it her imagination? They both glanced at each other, held their breath, and strained their ears. You hear that, right? Is it a ghost? You're practically a ghost yourself, so why are you afraid? Still, what is this sound? Far off in the distance there was a thun, thun. They could hear that dull sort of sound, repeating over and over. They both nodded to each other and strained their ears, trying to identify the source of the sound. Oh, I went back to that. Come on now. Ooh. Kill them. Kill them. Kill the infected. Kill them and burn their corpses. A group of 10 young rioters dashed down the main street. Their clothes were stained with a spray of blood, and their eyes were bloodshot. They had sunglasses on. The bats and metal pipes in their hands were dripping with blood, and were bent in unsettling directions. If those people find us, we're really in trouble. Were they college students? I guess this won't be as easy as facing him as I was elderly. We're fine, I think. They haven't found us. Phew. This is a real pickle. The insane youths were dashing whenever they heard some commotion. Then they killed those who fled. Those who begged for their lives, and occasionally those who stood against them. They truly were acting like bloodthirsty demons. That very sight was most likely what the legends of Onagafuchi village were passing down. Is the office far from here? In terms of distance, no. But if we're trying to avoid the main street, then it's surprisingly hard to get to. The main street's full of crazies, either running around everywhere or killing each other. Then let us practice safety first. Quiet! We heard the rattling of an empty can rolling around somewhere behind us. Someone had kicked the empty can trap set up earlier. They weren't keeping quiet either. We could hear the loud voices of the rioters drawing close. They'd finally started searching the back alleys too in their search for more to kill. This is bad. They'll catch up to us. But we can't exactly run either. They'll find us. We have to hide and wait them out. Bring those trash cans over here. Create cover. Hurry. Kei-chan, grab that one. Yeah. Ugh. It was an unfortunate mistake. Keiichi's foot slipped on some of the garbage, scattered around the trash can, and he went down, can and all. The loud clatter echoed throughout the back alley. Hey, I heard something. Must be another infected. Others responded to their call. They were their war cries, full of madness and rage, roaring in the distance. The cries came from both behind and in front of them. It's a pincer attack. We can't fight here. That'll only draw in even more of them. We'll have to break through the front. Let's push through to the office. Ow! Ow? Seriously? Keiichi-kun? Did you sprain your leg? Everyone's blood froze in an instant, because that meant they just lost their one and only best option. Mion lent Keiichi her shoulder and quickly issued orders. She's the one carrying him, with a bullet wound in her. Satoko, find our way out. Rena, weapons. I'm already on it. This is all I could find. Rena held up a sign prohibiting bicycle parking. It would at least serve to frighten others if she swung it at them. I bet it would. But the greatest weapon of all was the look in Rena's eyes, filled with her resolve to protect her friends. Whenever Rena was prepared to defend something precious to her, she showed no mercy or hesitation. Satoko used the talented observation skills she had when setting traps to rapidly calculate what to do. If both forward and backward were blocked off, then they could only escape upward. If they used the trash cans as a stool and climbed up on those eaves, then... but they couldn't. Keiichi had sprained his leg. There wasn't anything they could do without a ladder. A shaky ladder? I'm fine. It's only temporary. This is nothing. It certainly wasn't so bad that he couldn't walk. It probably would heal quickly once he got some rest. But that didn't mean he could hope to escape their current dire straits. Why do you have to sprain your foot at a time like this? You really are a blockhead, Keiichi-san. If only we had a ladder. If you're just worried about me, I'll manage. So don't worry about me and climb up there. If you've got time to spout nonsense, then start praying that I find a ladder. Ooh, God in heaven. Oh yeah, Shiro-sama, please bless us with a ladder. If praying will save us, then I'll stick my belly button out and dance. Me-chan, a ladder. Huh? There really was a ladder coming down from one of the eaves. Looking up, there was a lone young girl lowering a stainless steel ladder with shaky hands. They were usually pretty light, but it was plenty heavy for such a small girl. There was a pretty good chance she'd lose her balance and fall down. Thank you. It's good now, so let's go. Rena took the ladder and quickly moved it into place. Kei-chan, can you climb? If I don't climb, then those other people are dying at Rena's hands. Thanks. We can avoid more needless deaths if you can climb. If you can. Rena had already broken off parts of the wooden sign's frame, turning it into a sharp, pointed spear. Her idea was on a whole different level from just waving it around to scare people. Didn't they still have the hatchet and bat? It was both frightening and reassuring. Still, nothing was better than taking the ladder. Thank you. I don't know who you are, but thank you very much. Aha! She was on the, she's on the thumbnail of the game. Like, yeah, I don't know who she is. I suppose it's worth that. A new character this late into the series. Like the very end. I'm good, I can climb. I know, but hurry. They're almost here. There's more of those infected bastards. A whole bunch, actually. Kill them, kill them. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Oh, I can't read it. If you're out to kill, then you're prepared to be killed too, right? Rena-san, please climb. Once Rena climbed up, Mion quickly pulled up the ladder. The young girl gestured to say it was okay to leave the ladder here, before passing through the second floor window via the eaves. Below them, the young rioters were spouting filthy curses as they searched for a way to climb. This way. This place won't be safe forever, either. Seriously, thank you. You've saved our lives. Are we going out through another window? A secret window? There's no way those people won't climb up here. She exited through another window, then used an outdoor air-conditioned unit as a stepping stone to climb into the neighbouring building through its own window. Apparently she had been travelling along the second floor of the shopping district to avoid the dangerous streets below. They continued moving like that from building to building and roof to roof until they were certain they had managed to escape to a safe area. They eventually stopped at the second floor of a shop/residence. Apparently that was a shelter. New allied to the rescue, made a narrow escape with the aid of someone new. We're okay. Looks like we shook them off. They just started searching for other prey. Those people just want to kill. It's like the streets are an ocean full of sharks. The floor is lava. We're really thankful. You saved us. No one knows if you're safe now or not. Well, we managed to escape that particular crisis, if nothing else. But I should thank you. So thanks. I guess I did earn your thanks. Yeah. Hee. Right. She had no obligation to risk herself to try and save someone else. If she was able to lock herself up tight indoors, then her best option would have been to curl up and shut out all other sounds. I'm Mayabara Kaiichi. You? Une is what people call me, is how you pronounce it. Une, I guess. I'm Rena. This is Mi-chan, Satoko-chan. Nice to meet you. You really did save us at the perfect time. You were lucky, but that doesn't mean you always will be. Well, luck is another kind of strength. Is it just you here, Une-chan? Any others? There were, but they're not coming back. If she stayed quiet, she would be safe here. Yet that's the sad nature of humanity. Once they gain safety, they want to risk danger. Whether it's wanting to make sure your family is safe or to return home. Once a person finds safety, they can't just stay here. The place certainly was a shelter. There were a dozen plastic bottles full of water lined up, and there were about 4 grocery bags, stuffed full of candy bags, laying there too. They didn't know how many had been here, but as long as they were frugal, they could hold up for 3 days. When people manage to create a safe space, they want to bring their family and friends into it. That's true. Staying put here and ignoring what you hear outside might be the right answer. But thanks to Une-chan, we're all safe. I can't really thank you enough for saving our lives. Are there still many more violent groups like that one? There's more than that. There's plenty. Figures. Still, they're not running around in the middle of the night, right? The neighbourhood watch in Hinamizawa set up patrols after dark. They're frightened too. I do doubt they'll let their guard down and start snoring. Even so, it should be a little safe for them moving in the middle of the day. The Sonsaki group's office isn't far, right? Yeah, that's the next objective, right? And also, the longer they stay holed up there, the more people kill each other, right? So it should be safer the longer they stay there, I would think. Not in terms of direct distance. We should wait and observe for a bit. There's no need to rush. That's true. Una-chan, could you tell us a bit about what's going on in the city? Telling you. Won't take that long. Okay. So the next part's probably going to be her telling us what's going on in this city now in Akinamaya. Maybe I'll go back to Rika as well and we'll see what happened. Who the extra person was, or... Let's see. I can't save until we get the next screen anyway. Yeah, back to the lab. Okay. What did she find? Find out next time. Okay. This has been Greeny XI. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in a bit.